Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith is back in theaters to celebrate its 20th anniversary. So the question is it actually worth venturing out to the cinema to see a movie that's been available on home formats for years? Let's dive in. Hello there. Revenge of the Sith is, of course, the third and final chapter of the Star Wars prequel trilogy, which began with The Phantom Menace in 1999 and continued with Attack of the Clones in 2002. The story picks up several years after the outbreak of the Clone Wars, focusing on the Galactic Republic's conflict with the Separatist Alliance, led by Count Dooku. But at its heart, the movie is about the personal tragedy of Anakin Skywalker, his fall to the dark side, his transformation to Darth Vader, and his fateful, devastating duel against his former master and friend, Obi-Wan Kenobi, on the volcanic world of Mustafar. I remember seeing this movie back in 2005 when it first hit theaters. The anticipation for Episode 3 was absolutely massive, even bigger than it had been for Episodes 1 and 2. Despite the mixed reception the first two prequels had received, everybody, hardcore fans, casual fans, even people who didn't love the prequels, wanted to see this movie. This was the one the entire trilogy had been building toward, the fall of the Jedi and the rise of Darth Vader. Everyone wanted to know, how did Anakin fall? Why did he fall? How did he end up so horribly disfigured and trapped inside that black armour with that unforgettable James Earl Jones voice? When the film came out, the general reception was that it was easily the strongest of the prequels, redeeming the trilogy's reputation for a lot of people. I loved it then, and I still love it now. Flaws and all. I actually saw it 3 times in the theatre during its original run, and back then, home media releases weren't as instant as they are now. You could be waiting 6-7 months before a movie hit DVD. So if you loved a movie, you had to keep going back to the theatre to experience it. Over the years, I've rewatched it on DVD, Blu-ray, and streaming. It remains my second favourite of the original 6-part Skywalker saga. Yes, there are only 6 movies of the Skywalker saga. It all came to a happy end in Return of the Jedi, okay? But yeah, Empire Strikes Back is still the best. But honestly, when I first heard about this 20th anniversary re-release, I wasn't planning on going. These days, I don't go to the cinema as often as I used to. Movies aren't what they used to be. Streaming is convenient, and let's face it, the modern movie theatre experience isn't always great when people can't put their phones down for 2 hours. But that's a rant for another day. So, why did I go? Nostalgia. Pure and simple. Before the dark times, before Disney, the release of a new Star Wars movie was an event. I remember lining up for midnight screenings of Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. The energy, the excitement, it was electric. You'd talk to complete strangers while waiting in line, sharing theories and excitement. Everyone there was a fan, and for a few hours, it didn't matter who you were. You were part of something bigger. Seeing Revenge of the Sith again last night in a packed theatre brought a lot of that magic back. And no matter how big your home TV is, or how good your surround sound system might be, Star Wars was made for the big screen. It was genuinely powerful. It almost felt like seeing it for the first time again. In today's divided Star Wars fandom, having that shared, enthusiastic experience again was priceless. But after all this time, how does Revenge of the Sith hold up as a film? For me anyway, it's still one of the best entries in the series, and far superior to almost everything Disney has put out since. One of the best things about the movie is just how much fun the opening half hour is. The battle over Coruscant, the rescue of Chancellor Palpatine, the playful banter between Obi-Wan and Anakin. It's just pure Star Wars adventure, very much in keeping with the tone of A New Hope. You really believe these two are comrades, brothers, which makes it so much more heartbreaking when they end up as bitter enemies by the film's end. The world building is also fantastic, from the sinkhole cities of Utapau, to the lush Wookiee forests of Kashyyyk, to the hellish lava rivers of Mustafar. Every environment feels rich and unique. Lucas expanded the galaxy beautifully here, and it really shows up how lacking in imagination the Disney era of the franchise has been. And then there's General Grievous. His design is still incredible, half droid, half alien, and he serves as a chilling bit of foreshadowing for what Anakin is about to become. a warrior so broken that he must live inside a machine. But for all the movie's big battles and visual spectacle, it's actually the quiet scenes that hit the hardest. Palpatine's opera story about Darth Plagueis, just two people talking really, yet it's utterly spellbinding. The way Ian McDiarmid plays the scene is just true acting masterclass. What I really love about it is how ambiguous it is. He's clearly playing Anakin like a fiddle here, but it makes you wonder how much what he's talking about, the ability to keep people from dying, the legend of Darth Plagueis, how much of it is true and how much of it is he making up. I love it. Then there's that heartbreaking silent moment where Anakin and Padme stare across the city at each other, separated by miles, but connected by their shared sense of dread. For all the criticism that Lucas gets for writing cheesy dialogue, scenes like this show that he's actually a great visual storyteller. And of course there's Order 66. Watching the Jedi fall one by one is brutal, but seeing Anakin, now Darth Vader, murder the younglings, that has to be the darkest moment Star Wars has ever given us. It's shocking, it's tragic, and it still makes your stomach turn. It's ironic because I'm recording this the week the first few episodes of Andor Season 2 have been released, and there's a very shocking scene of grape in the third episode of the season. It's a timely reminder that Star Wars isn't just necessarily for kids. That's a topic for another video. But then there's the Mustafar duel. Obi-Wan versus Anakin. The setting matches the tone perfectly. Violent, chaotic, and heartbreaking. This isn't just a fight. It's the death of an entire era. There have been a lot of lightsaber fights in Star Wars, but this is far and away my favourite one. Not just because of the choreography and the visuals, but by how emotionally charged it is. Now, that being said, Revenge of the Sith isn't perfect. Some of the dialogue is still a little awkward. Natalie Portman gets some of the worst ones.
Hold me, like you did by the lake on Naboo. So long ago when there was nothing but our love.
Anakin, you're breaking my heart.
While the performances are strong overall, especially Ewan McGregor, Ian McDiarmid, and Hayden Christensen, there are still a few clunky line deliveries here and there.
What have I done?
Some of the Anakin Padme scenes in particular can feel a little stiff or overly melodramatic. But honestly, those flaws are small in the grand scheme of things. They're little cracks in an otherwise stunning piece of stained glass, so to speak. They don't ruin the experience. They just remind you that this was a massive, ambitious, and deeply personal project for George Lucas. Overall, Revenge of the Sith isn't just a great Star Wars movie, it's a tragedy. A story about loyalty, loss, and how even the strongest heroes can fall when fear and anger take hold. Seeing it again 20 years later with a crowd of fans who still cared this deeply, it reminded me why Star Wars matters so much, despite Disney doing their best to run it into the ground. If you have the chance to catch this on the big screen during its anniversary run, I say absolutely go for it, especially if you've never seen it on the big screen before. And if you did see it on its original release, go again. For the memories, for the magic, and for love of that galaxy far, far away. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Share this video out there, and let me know in the comments, what do you think of Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith? Is it your favourite in the series, or is it the worst? Hope you all look after yourselves, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.